What up, my good people? You know who it be. What up? So, let me tell you something about the goodness of God. You know, most of you know me that been following me in any case. Know that one, first and foremost, I have a deep-seated, root-based faith in God Almighty. And I also practice a program of recovery, meaning that I try to live as sober-minded as I possibly can. And I do that with regard to 12-step programs. And in that, it's given me a new lease on life, so to speak. So let me just tell you about the goodness of God. Now, this is kind of a delayed, I don't know, sharing, because I didn't really know how to put it into words. And to be honest, I still don't, but I'm going to try. But nonetheless, some of you may know or remember that I wrecked my pickup truck. I had a 1995 Chevy Z71, beautiful truck. It's went through some stages since I've owned it. Put new doors on it, exhaust manifolds. Spent close to, I don't know, a little $2,500 in February of 2025, getting this thing fixed and ready for an inspection and all the other things that was wrong with it. New gas tank, blah, blah, blah. So I felt great about it, you know, because that's the truck that I use to do what I do out in the street, meaning simply that, you know, I go out into the street on occasion and I feed the homeless, or I give bags away with sandwiches, what I call, you know, my bags of love. I know it's stupid, but it's what I do. Or, you know, I would take a trip to Walmart or Giant Eagle and pay for someone's groceries or pay for someone's rent. You know, those are the things that I was doing inside that pickup truck. So I had a fondness for that truck, and it gave me a mission, a purpose. And, you know, I wrecked it, tore it up, hit these deer, bang, 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 tore this truck up. I hit 3 deer in concession as they were crossing the road. I literally had to stop the vehicle and yank one of them that was stuck inside the grill out of the grill so that I could get the truck to work, because that's where I was headed. And so when I got to work, I was kind of depressed. Not that I lost my truck, but that I lost the avenue of which gave me, you know, the most joy in life, and that was helping other people. Whether it's supporting someone in recovery or going out into the street to help somebody. That was my lifeline, that truck. And this is where God's greatness and His goodness comes into play. Now, I never thought to reach out to the people in my circle, because my circle is so tiny that you could probably fit it on the head of a needle. But my boss comes, I go inside work moments after this accident. I go inside and I tell my boss, you know, I'm going to be about an hour late. I'm shook. I tell him why. He goes out, looks at my truck, goes, oh my God, goes back in. Well, thank God you didn't get hurt. A few moments later, my boss comes up and says, you know, we're going to get you another truck. What do you mean? I might need a loan. So, because not only days prior to me wrecking that pickup truck, I mean literally like 3 days prior to that, I had just resolved sending $3,000 worth of food relief efforts to children that were trapped in a church in Gaza. A friend of mine reached out, a priestly friend of mine reached out and asked if there was any way I could help. I said, yeah. I dug into my savings account. It basically broke me. But I sent what I could send, and that was approximately close to $3,000 of my money, which basically depleted my financial world. So, 3 days later, I wrecked my truck. My lifeline's broken. I thought, man, this is over. I live out in the country. I'm never going to be able to get back and forth to work. And what about the people that I've been helping? What about my joy, my peace, this life that I've established in this second chance? God moved. Boy, did he move. He moved so hard that it made me realize I still have a whole lot of work to do on me. Woo! So, in the end, what happened was a man that I had met early in my recovery, his name is Phil. I love him. He's a harsh, give it to you the way it is and not the way you want it type of a guy. It's just who he was. And I always admired him and I loved him. I loved him for his wisdom and for his strength and because he's a good man. I'm struggling with the same demons that, most of us in recovery struggle with. But I never really thought that he cared for me at all, in any sense. I just didn't think that he had any inclinations towards a caring bone in his body for someone like me. I don't know why. It's just what I got. Only to find out that he gets that a lot. So that same man that I had judged and assumed that didn't care for me was the very man that initiated the ball of which put a vehicle underneath my feet in a matter of days. It was a blessing beyond any words that I can put into play, period. So, I'm told about this truck. One time I'm told that it's white, it's a 95 or an 85 or something like this here. And so I reach back out into the field of which reached to me the divinity of God. I reached back out to these men and I said, what's up with this truck for real? Like, I hear this, but it sounds a little too damn good to be true. So one of them tells me, Phil, come and look at it. See for yourself. We're not bullshitting you, bro. Come and look at it. So I go out there to my alma mater, a place called the Maria House Project. Most people around this area anyway call it Father Pete's place. Beautiful place. Very place that gave me my second chance at life. And my chance to make peace with the God of my understanding. So I go out there and I look at this truck and I think to myself, nah, sorry, no way, this is not going to happen. It's gorgeous. Literally, the interior looks like it's brand new. So I find out it's owned by a church. The church only used it for plowing. It has 103,000 miles on it. Nothing wrong with it other than it needs a repair. So these men, of whom I love, admire, and I don't know, I have a kinship with these men because we're all in recovery in one way or another. But these men tell me, you pay to get the truck fixed. We're going to put it in the shop. But you got to pay to get it out. Okay, cool, I can do that. But what's the truck going to cost me? The cost of the repairs. What? I said, what? The cost of the repair to put a steering wheel bracket and hose and pump and all. What? So I'm thinking still, no, this is too good to be true. God don't do stuff like this for me. I do this stuff for other people. So I just gave a Jeep away. About to get rid of that Chevy truck. These are the things that I do because there's where I get my joy. The 12-step program says that we have to go back out there and share our experience, strength, and hope, and to help when we can. And I do just that. So a day or two goes by. They tell me they put the truck in the shop. I get a call. The truck's done. Go get it. Still at this point, I'm in total disbelief. And I'm going to show you the truck in a moment. total disbelief. So I go to this shop. I have a coworker, Paris. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, my friend. I have him drive me to this repair shop. I pay the bill. I ask, is it the truck sitting right out front? He goes, no, it's sitting at the very end of the parking lot. So I go out there. I get in this truck, thinking the whole time as I'm driving down the road headed home, the police are going to stop me. They're going to stop me. I just committed grand theft auto. I just added to my repertoire another crime. I'm going back to jail. But no, I drove home. I've had the truck since, and all I've paid for it was what it cost to have it repaired. I'm not going to say what it cost to have it repaired, but it was enough. It was enough. And yet still in the back of my head, I get this feeling as I'm driving, even though it's in my name, has my plate on it. It was the divinity that made it possible that still makes me believe that one day I'm going to be driving down the road and the police are going to pull over. Pull it over, you're in a stolen vehicle. It was a blessing. The gratitude that I have for what they've done for me is beyond any word that I could express or any emotion that I could put forth, other than to say, thank you all. And most importantly, thank God. Because God does move when He needs to move. Not in our time, but whenever He knows beyond a shadow of a doubt we need Him, He'll be there. And I just share that not as a boosting, but as a means of being able to show just how frail we can be in our judgments of other people, like mine in judging how Phil might have felt about me. Despite the fact that I call myself working a really healthy program of recovery, I still had some things that needed to be fine-tuned, like judging people. Judge not lest you be judged, in greater form, is what the Bible tells us, but yet we still do it in some small way. And to be honest with you, I don't even think I'm still worthy of the blessing of which brought this truck into my life, to be honest with you. But it did still give me the opportunity to be able to do what I've done for in the past, going out into the street and whatnot. But it also gave me a better opportunity to do that, because my other truck had a tonneau cover on it that you couldn't roll up or anything like that. So I've had things stolen out of the back of my truck while going on street missions. However, this one has a hard shell cover on it, and it has locks on either side, so I can lock my stuff up. Ain't no more stealing from me, buddy boy. Yes, sir. And I think because it did have a plow hooked up to it, to avoid any further hitting of deer, I'm going to see if I can have a brush guard bolted to the framework that is still there, that was used for the plow. And the power assembly, I'm going to convert that from the cabin of the truck to the rear, to the bed of the truck, so that I can put an AC-DC converter back there, so that I can use more modern conveniences to keep the food warm and stuff like that in the back of the truck, since I can actually lock it up now. No more cold bags for me, buddy. you know. Look, I'm just being goofy today and just sharing the greatness of God, my gratitude for this Saturday. I can't believe I made it to 64. And some of you that might be watching this video can't believe it either. But here I am. Thank God. Praise God. I give Him the utmost praise and glory, because, man, I'm telling you now, the things I've been through, the things I've done, the things I've seen, He can be the only reason why I'm still here. But by his grace and glory. I love you guys, and until next time, you know who it is. The babbling baby boomer nuisance coming to a neighborhood near you. Maybe.